Good morning. This year I'm reading a great devotional by Amy Carmichael called Edges of His Ways. Her entry for May 26th took on new meaning as Jaron and I began to transition back into powerlifting training after nearly a year off. The scripture reference she used was 1 Corinthians 10:13. And I'm quoting it from the Passion Translation, which is obviously not the same version she would have used in the 1950s. We all experience times of testing, which is normal for every human being, but God will be faithful to you. He will screen and filter the severity, nature, and timing of every test or trial you face so that you can bear it. And each test is an opportunity to trust Him more. For along with every trial, God has provided for you a way of escape that will bring you out of it victoriously. Now, I'm just going to read what she said, and then I'll talk about what it meant to me. The pressure of temptation is measured by one who knows what the substance to be tested can stand. The maker of glass would not subject his glass to a weight of 20 tons per square inch. Here lies our comfort. We commit our souls as unto a faithful Creator. Sometimes we feel so ashamed of finding something heavy, which, after all, is only a little weight, that we miss our comfort. Whether it be so tiny that others cannot see why it should be a trouble at all, or whether it be a huge thing like a 20-ton weight, He knows all about it. He measured its weight before He put it on us. And there is more in this. Sometimes we are tempted to feel that even though the pressure would be nothing to another who is stronger, it is too much for us. But it never is. He knoweth our frame. He remembereth that we are dust. The temptation to yield and do what the flesh would naturally do is meant to offer us an opportunity for endurance and for the exercise of faith. This is the patience and faith of the saints. This brought to my mind my relationship with my coach, Jaron. Before every meet, we spent time seeing where my lifts were, where my emotions were, how I was doing mentally, physically, and emotionally. He was well aware of what I could do, my capacity, when I was at my best, and my capacity when I was at my worst. He had a plan for best, average, and worst as far as my opening weights. The meet was just a test of what I'd learned in the gym, an opportunity to push limits and celebrate the strength I'd gained over the last training period, however long it was. At the meet, some lifters preferred to call their own numbers on their lifts, or at least wanted to know what was being loaded on the bar. I didn't need that. Sometimes Jaron would ask if I wanted to play it safe or if I felt good enough to do something a little crazy, but often he'd make that assessment himself. Here's the thing. I had a relationship with Jaron. I knew that he had seen every lift I've ever made. He knew what I was capable of better than I did, and he had trained me for this event with all the stresses of the event itself and the weight in mind. I also knew I had actively participated to the best of my ability in every training session, including the deload week that gave my body the active rest it needed to perform in peak condition at the meet. This allowed me to go into every meet with confidence and approach every lift, even if it looked impossible to me, with the same confidence, because I knew I had been prepared, and I knew that Jaron would never put a weight on the bar that he wasn't sure I could lift. But here's the other thing. In training and in a meet, there are safety precautions taken. One being a spotter. And on the lift most likely to crush my chest if I blow it, the bench press, without fail, Jaron has been there to lift off for me and to spot me. So if, by some off chance, I miss it, he can help me get the bar back into the rack. This is the first time I've considered the scripture in these terms. And as I continue to think about it, I have a whole new appreciation for God and my relationship with me, how He knows and loves me. Through our relationship, I've grown to trust him and to know that he's there. He is coach and spotter. He's the one who calls my numbers when it's time for meet day to test my strength and my capacity. He delights when I walk into a challenge with the confidence that he is with me and won't allow more to be loaded on the bar than I can handle, even if in the natural it looks like it should crush me. And if for some reason I fumble on meet day, he's got me covered too. His hands will guide the bar back to the rack. His arms will embrace me as he helps me off the bench or the floor, as the case may be, and he will adjust my training program, life, to build more strength, capacity, and integrity in the areas that I missed it. No condemnation, no stress, just a high five for showing up and the encouragement that we're going to hit it again, and this time we're going to do it better. There's no failure with God. There's just more training, and I love that. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you were encouraged and strengthened for whatever weight is loaded on your bar as you approach this day.